Hey everyone, this is David. It's a quick hit. It is Sunday afternoon. Daddy is very, very, very tired. I went out with cousin Lou last night, the Countess, and Daddy had a late night here in Sag Harbor, but I need to come on and talk to all of you kids. Oh gosh, we got to talk about Kenya. We got to talk about our girl Kenya. I mean, I have so many thoughts. And as I was sitting down to chat with all of you, I'm like, it's a good thing that I'm exhausted because what happens when I'm exhausted is I do mellow out because I'm so fucking tired. So it's good that I'm mellow because I'm so riled up. I have so many thoughts and emotions about this whole thing that went down with Kenya. Where do we even begin? And I see everyone's comments, and you guys are going through so many old things which have happened on Bravo and saying, why wasn't this person suspended? And why wasn't that person suspended? And I have been saying this for years. We can't do that. It's not even a double standard. Kenya has entered the chat now implying double standard. It's like a quadruple bazillion standards. It's just, there are no standards. We make examples out of certain people and we don't. I mean, let me just preface that by saying what Kenya did is different than a lot of these other examples I'm seeing. So I understand how we got here, but no, I mean, we let Kristen, Doty, and Jax go, and now they're back. So, I mean, we don't care. I mean, that's just the bottom line. It's a corporation. They don't care. They will just do what is best at the time. So I see all these examples everyone is presenting. Why wasn't this person? I mean, to be honest with you, I think, well, first of all, and a lot of people are saying, Teresa and Louis and the bloggers, and first of all, Teresa sat there on Watch What Happens and denied that. So that's not a proven fact per se. And the whole Tom Sandoval thing, Kenya has entered the chat. I don't know if you saw Kenya's tweet. She's saying, Tom can basically, film Raquel without her knowledge, and now he's a traitor. I mean, the difference, Kenya, is that this happened on air. That is the difference. This happened in the workplace. You really have to just take every situation and boil it down to, if you're listening to this and you're a school teacher and you're an accountant and you're going to an office job, what would be allowed? I mean, if you did stuff that constitutes revenge porn or anything else that Tom didn't even do revenge porn. That was Ariana, allegedly. But whatever you do when you're not at work is a whole different thing than doing it on the job. So that's the first thing. Kenya did this on the job. So let's just start with that. And look, I could go back and I could say, I mean, I love Danielle Staub. I think Danielle Staub is an icon in the housewives world. I think she is, I have nothing that just, she's amazing. And yet I think, well, especially since she was a friend of, I mean, I think if you roll the tape, she pulls Margaret's ponytail. I think today Danielle Staub would be suspended on the spot. I really do think touching someone or anything like that, and anything having to do with sex and just exposing things like this, like what Kenya did, I think are at the top. I don't really know what happened between Jennifer Aiden and Danielle Cabral when they were suspended. I don't think they actually physically touched each other. I think they got in each other's face and it was heated and maybe there was like a little nudge. I think like you take your hands and you pull someone's ponytail and, I think that would get you suspended today. So I think there's a lot of things if they happen today. I think there are double standards and triple standards and quadruple standards, but we could talk about that all day. It doesn't change the facts. Kenya apparently took these pictures of Brittany. I don't personally don't think it's revenge porn. I'd have to see what the statute actually says in Atlanta. But I don't think it is. I mean, these pictures were out there, so I'm not worried about that personally for Kenya with revenge porn, but I just think, you're taking a pictures of, I mean, imagine if you did this at your job as a teacher or an accountant and you got to work and there were pictures of you performing oral sex on someone, allegedly. The person who did that, they would be looking for the person, or if you knew who it was, they would be suspended. Yeah. So from an HR point of view, I understand how we got here. Still don't know who this person is. And is it a guy that she was performing oral sex at? Are we sure of that? I know I'm caught in the weeds here, people. But now she's suspended and she's suspended indefinitely. And I love Kenya. I've always said this. I think she's the best part of Atlanta, personally. I mean, to me, she's probably my favorite Atlanta housewife of all time, if I really thought of it. Yeah, I like her better than Nene. We'll get to Nene and Kim soon because Kim has her new show with Cynthia now that Nene turned down, but which I have so much to say about that. Which, so Kenya. It's like Kenya does these things and she goes too far. But here's my thing. I personally feel that, look, you can't not blame her. She did it. But I do feel like the same way I feel about Brandy or even Rinna, which we all hate Rinna. I do feel that I don't think Kenya would have done this if she wasn't on air. I think which doesn't excuse it, I'm not excusing it, but you are doing this because Kenya knows how to make great TV. And so, yes, there's all these things being alleged that Brittany said, I'm going to come for you with a gun, and people are denying that, but regardless, I mean, whatever happened prior to this doesn't justify this, but I still think in the real world, if Kenya were having an event at her hair salon, I don't think Kenya would say, I'm going to get back at this person and I'm going to take naked pictures of them, or performing oral sex on someone and just put it out there for the world. I think it's like, okay, there are people watching, probably around 1 million these days, maybe 800,000 for Atlanta. And I'm going to make a great TV. And this is how I'm going to come back at this person because I know these pictures exist. I'm going to blow them up and bring them to my event. So I do feel that, to me, Kenya is the same as like Brandy Glanville, where I've had Brandy on this podcast. I think we chatted for 2 hours. We chatted off air. I got the sense like Brandy wouldn't hurt a fly. She just is applauded. This is your persona. We all know you touch and you do this. And so there we are. Same thing with Kenya. I mean, she knows I think you look at that live that she did on Instagram, which we're going to get to, and she's different when she's not filming. She's aware, she's smart, she knows what she's doing. And so I really think Kenya is like, well, I'm going to make great TV. I don't think she ever would have done this if it wasn't during filming. That's my opinion. So doesn't matter. But like, I personally can't hold that against her because I really think she was just trying to make great TV for all of